Hello, how are you? Welcome to Susan Wangi 254. In our continuing series on early childhood experiences or advanced childhood experiences that we've gone through that may be impacting us today. So, previously, we were able to discuss in the last episode. You can be able to check on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, wherever it is that my social media links are, and see where we were. So I will just very briefly go through what it is that we had looked at. And we looked at the advanced childhood experiences as abuse, neglect, household dysfunctions, and we were able to get into those into detail. So right now, what we are asking ourselves, how do I get myself out of this? Or how do I get to a situation where I am better off? I am able to, manage my day to day work, manage my, my experiences, my behaviors, so that it does not end up impacting others or impact me negatively. So, for us to be able to resolve these adverse childhood experiences, there are so many things that we need to do. There are many things that we can be able to do. All right. So, there's a variety of options that we have. And first, we need to be able to be aware that I have this adverse childhood experience that is making me do this. All right. For instance, we have some of us who grew up in very violent environments, all right? So where people used to, in case of any disagreement, resolution is by fighting. Are you that person who is fighting on every situation? So you need to be able to understand or be aware. I came from a place where there was a lot of violence, and because of the violence from where I came from, that is why I am able to react like this, or that is why instead of me fighting, I ran away from the situation instead of resolving it. So, for you to identify, another example might be those people who might have come from a place where there was either emotional neglect or there were household dysfunctions that made you feel that you are not worthy, you are not important. Any person who comes and does or says something that makes you feel unwanted, then you go back to that inner child comes out, and either you act aggressively or in a combative manner, or you just decide to just withdraw and say, I know I am not important, I am not significant, this is me. So by first identifying and being aware that I had this early childhood or advanced childhood experience, and that is why I am behaving like this, it is the beginning for us being able to know how do we resolve. So we have some of these things lead to trauma, and we have a variety of approaches, as I've mentioned, that we can be able to use. So we are going to go through these approaches that you can be able to use. Kindly note that all of them may not resolve it fully. There is an aspect of you being in control of this process. So one of the things that you need to do is to be able to get professional help. Sometimes some of these adverse childhood experiences so far have costed your friends, they have costed your marriage, they have costed you as a parent, they have costed you at the workplace. So we need to get professional help. And what is this professional help I'm referring to? You need to go for therapy. All right. So some of us do not believe in going for therapy or counseling, to go and so that you can be able to go and um, discuss, you go mention, we are able to go deep down and get what is the root cause and come up with ways in which you can be able to resolve the issues that you're going through. So through counseling or through therapy, you can be able to get focus, you can get trauma focused therapy. All right. And this will help you to process and heal from the trauma. All right. So this is a journey that maybe some of us might never have thought. And I want us to get the idea of therapy and counseling being something that you go for when you are going nuts. No. This is something to make sure that we are able to understand where we are, what we need to do, and note that the counselor or the therapist is only taking you through this process, so that you can be able to explore, because all the experiences are with you and all the solutions are with you. So what you need is guidance step by step on how we can be able to go through this. So we also need mental health support, all right? And this is recommended, all right? And part of it is through therapy, psychotherapy, or talk therapy, all right? And at times even potential medication, because at times some of the things we've gone through are so traumatic, and we at times don't know how to go through this. So you can be able to check wherever it is that you're getting me from. You can be able to check through the uh, organizations, non-governmental organizations that are able to assist in this. We have private institutions that are able to do this. We have public institutions that are able to do this. Or just check online. There are so many therapists who can be able to take you through this. So this is one of the areas in which you can be able to get assistance. As we said, number one, you need to be able to get professional help, all right? And then, just not from the things that I'm talking about, you do not need to follow them, like go for professional help and then no, just check what it is that will enable you get assistance. There's what we can call first aid, all right? We start with this, and then from this we go to this, we go to this. At times it doesn't need to get to all this, but just check what it is that will work for you. So you need to build a support network. And this is very important, all right? Trusted adults. Connect with people who are reliable and are supportive, all right? So that you can be able to reduce the long-term effect of what you've gone through. And I want to refer to, just using some of the examples from what we've done before, a person who's gone through um, uh, trauma that is sexually related. Maybe one was raped or you were sodomized when you were young. You need to get to a place where you are getting a support system of people you can actually trust. Okay? Someone that you can be able to comfortably discuss, this is what I went through. All right? Because some of us, from when whatever incident happened, you have never opened your mouth, you have never addressed it, and it keeps on eating you time and time again. So you need to be able to get someone that you can trust and discuss it. For instance, if you came from an environment where you had lack, as in there was extreme poverty, and even getting the very basic aspects of life were not possible, some of the people that you need to have these discussions with are your siblings, those ones you went through the process with, because at times you go through these things individually and you have got no idea that your sibling went through the same thing. So discussing whether it was in a place where maybe a parent was incarcerated or you had someone who had mental illness, discuss it with people that you went through the process together. And by so doing, you will notice this is how someone was able to go beyond it, or this is how they were able to resolve. And maybe using that, you can be able to build, and you can be able to, grow, and you can be able to get out of those traumatic experiences. All right? So getting people that you can trust and talk about this. And you notice that it shouldn't be a place where you'll discuss it, and then a place where you're not feeling comfortable, you discuss it and then you go and hear it with another person. Now that will cause even more trauma. So I said, get a trusted adult or a trusted person that you can discuss this with. I want to address those of us who are parents to adults. All right? You can discuss this with your children. The reason why it's important for you to discuss this with your children is because maybe those traumatic experiences affected your parenting. And if it affected your parenting, you took your children probably through the same trauma you were taken through, and they were not understanding, why is it that my mother or my father is taking me through this? So by discussing it, they will understand you better. They will be able to even highlight some of the things. Oh, mom or dad, this is what was happening. And then they will be able to support you. They will be able to give you all the support that you need. The next thing, while building a supportive network, you need to have a social support. All right. A strong network of people who understand and are willing to listen and provide emotional support. All right. We have people who, especially, let me use an instance of, let's say, what you have in Kenya. We have organizations that deal with people who have gone through particular traumas. And joining these social support groups is usually free. All right. So you can be able to look at where are these support systems. All right. And some of the traumatic experience we've gone through these social support systems, you are able to understand, know what others have gone through, express what you went through. And as you note, they say the more you talk about it, the less the burden on you. So very importantly, build a support system. All right. You do not need to go on the first session and say everything. All right. So bit by bit, whatever it is your heart can come out. And notice that irrespective of whether this happened 10 years ago or it happened 50 years ago, once you start talking about it, the pain is usually as much as it was happening then. And please do not be too afraid to be vulnerable. All right. It is a pain that we've had, and it's something that we have to go through. We've got to go through this so that we can get out of these traumatic experiences that we had. So as I've mentioned, we need to get professional help. And then secondly, we need to be able to build a support network. All right. So I will see you in the next section as we explore more. How do we get help, or how do we resolve adverse childhood experiences that we got as we were growing up? All right. Or as we were a child, and making sure that we do not take these experiences to our own children or to our own grandchildren. May you have a good one. My name is Susan Wangi. Bye.